Hey, it's Rick and Grant from the Brilyant Heathanz podcast. What's going on, Grant?
Hello, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. A little tired. Got to go to bed early, so figuring it's probably gonna be a quick video. But what interesting topics do you have tonight?
I'm annoyed today. I'm
Okay.
actually annoyed. I'm annoyed all the time. This is a thing that comes up a lot. Um, as someone who does data analysis for a living, I'm always debunking people's statistics and their data and all their different things because people just they find data that fits their narrative, and it's most of the times it's completely made up. For instance, one of the things I just had a conversation with somebody a couple days ago about um, black on black crime. That somebody brought it up, and I was like, it's not a real thing. It's not. It's something completely made up. It was made up as a talking point. Most of the data that people try to cite on it are memes, and that was all memes created by. It turns out, if you check your sources, it goes all the way back to white supremacists, KKK, neo-Nazi groups that just made up information, or people connected to those groups, and it's all it's all complete nonsense.
Okay.
And just for anybody listening, like the vast majority of crime is intra-racial, meaning it's race on race, same race on same race. So most crime in white communities is white on white. Most crime in black communities is
Right.
black on black. Most crime in Asian communities is Asian on. Like that's just how crime. That's just how it works. You commit crimes against people in your community, and even in this country, most communities are still pretty isolated to specific ethnicities. So
Okay.
um, like so that's been an issue. And then like a couple days, so that I have had that big thing going on. The guy didn't want to believe me, and I just hit him with all these sources, and it got to the point where he pretty much denied nothing, fact-based sources that had no writing. It was just numbers because they disagreed with his point. And it was like, well, this doesn't make sense. I don't know why other people will lie about it. And it's like, I'm telling you why they would lie about it. Like
Right.
they want you to be upset and angry, and to think that there's a bias. Like, certain races commit crimes, and forgetting the fact that race science is completely made up as well. Like it's all made up, right? So
Right.
then a couple of days later, so over the weekend there were two big stories that came out, and this is why I'm annoyed today, because today somebody brought both of them up, and they both were completely fake. So the one story, which I think came out late last week, actually, was from, I think it ended up starting on a Twitter account by a group called, it was like a trans rights group or whatever. There was like I forget, it had some stupid acronym. And it was, we need to ban Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin because it's anti-trans inclusivity. So the first, right, I laughed the first time I saw it. I'm like, this is hilarious because it's got to be fake.
Yeah.
It blew up. I saw it, and I don't even get on the internet very much on the weekends, and I saw it all weekend. Anytime I got online, somebody was sharing it, and it was like, and I think at one point it made it into like I don't know if it was because I don't really watch the news or read. I mostly read unbiased news. I read like AP and Reuters, which people think are biased, but they're completely unbiased. Um, so I read those kind of sources. So, but I think it even made it into like, I don't know if it was TV or newsprint, like a right wing media source. And then as on Monday, the guy came out and was like, I made this up. And everything from this site for the last couple of weeks that people have been reacting to, I've been completely trolling. Like I didn't think it would
Right.
actually
Here.
ever get.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would get this big. And people just assumed that some guy on the internet was telling the truth. Like, or like that. You guys just took that as a gospel truth. Like this is what
Right.
trans people really want, and ran with it as a story, and it was some troll on the internet. Like, and that has happened so much in the last probably 5 to 10 years that it's driven me crazy. And then this week, the big story, I think that broke yesterday or today. I started seeing it last night, and then today was people who got vaccinated are angry and want retribution against people who weren't vaccinated because the people who weren't vaccinated knew that the vaccine was going to cause them side effects, and they should have warned us. And it was like it made it on. I think that story actually made it on the Fox News. It was so, one, it's totally written as an editorial. It's an opinion piece. Two, if you read the level of the rating, it's like fifth, sixth grade tops. Like it would not have made it into. It's fifth grade tops. Like it's really low level writing. It's like it sounds like it was written by a 10-year-old
Right.
with an angry 10-year-old, basically, right? It's so it's and then the first time I read it, I'm like, oh, this is hilarious. Like it's complete satire. It blew up. It blew up, and then when it was proven that the website that it came from is a known satirical website, parody website that tries to provoke conservative outrage, people on the conservative boards got even more angry about that. Well, even if it's fake, I believe that that's what liberals are really thinking. And I'm like,
Right.
you got to be kidding me. Like, just admit you got fooled.
Right.
Admit you got fooled. Like, and this happened. I think there have been times when liberal communities and writers have gotten fooled, like in the early days of the Babylon Bee, and some of the other things. And it's like people see these fake articles and they say something that they want to believe,
Right.
and they go right in. They don't even stop to
Right.
go, huh, this almost seems too good to be true, or this seems really out there. Let me see where this story came from. The first thing I do, if I see something that sounds just outrageous, I'll click on it and I'll look for any links in the article. I'll look for the about section of the website to see like what they claim they're. So a lot of times they say in their about section, we're a parody website or we're a satirical website. Um,
Right.
I'll do that kind of stuff, or I'll go like, oh, it was from this Twitter page or this account. I'm like, okay, so it's somebody on Twitter that made it up. Like these are not news sources. These are not sources. The fact that people now accept some idiot on the internet as a news source is amazing to me. It's sickening.
Dude, they take
I don't even.
memes.
It's memes.
Memes
Memes are news
become
sources.
or
Yeah,
news sources. Yeah.
and almost every meme has been proven to have been manipulated. The data is manipulated. The pictures are fake. The pictures are pulled from somewhere, or they're altered a little bit. So it's like there was a picture of the Obamas years ago when Obama was in office, and it's like them staring at some guy peeling a banana, and like it's like if you look at it, one, the banana was added. They were watching a basketball game, and if you look at it, they ever so slightly exaggerated their features to look more like apes, and it was like,
Yeah.
but people shared that as a real picture for years.
Right.
4 years, like there's so many things, like there's so many different things where these memes and these guys on the internet, even people that claim to be reporters, a lot of times they've been caught making up information, just flat out making it up. Like check, double check. If it feels like it agrees with you, go look for an article that doesn't agree with you. Like go
Right.
out of your way to like kind of debunk things. Like it is so frustrating and infuriating to exist in this period in human history where like I don't even want to like I don't want to go online. I don't want to talk to people because every time I start talking to people, they'll say something and I'm just like, no, that's just not
Yeah.
true. Like that's just not true. And then they get angry. They
Yeah.
they get angry. You know, I had an argument for at one point I had an argument for literally months over email with a guy who we were friends. We were friends through a friend. So he was trying to convince me that Alex Jones' stuff was all 100% correct, and
Right.
here's this and here's that, and I'm like, here's where he snipped a piece of an article. Here's the original article. Well, that doesn't say the same thing. The original. How do you know Alex Jones wasn't the original article and they copied from him? I'm like, dude, seriously, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I would just like debunk everything, and he'd be like, no, no, that's not true. No, I don't know why Alex would lie about this. I'm like, because you notice every article there's an ad for something.
Yes.
That's why
It's
he's
because he,
selling
he
you
he
stuff.
makes this,
Yeah, the
Yeah.
clicks, you watching his videos, you
His
buying
bone
stuff.
broth.
Yeah, yeah, like that's why he would lie about stuff. Like, no, I don't buy that. Okay, then you choose to not believe that the facts. You want to
Right.
believe what this says. Don't tell me that this is facts. Just admit that this is what you want to believe, and that's okay. We can go about our. But he would just randomly send me stuff like I wouldn't hear from him for like a week and a half. He would just send me like a bunch of articles. 2 weeks, he sent me a bunch of articles. What do you think about this? Here's video of this. I'm like, oh, here's Alex's video. Here's video from there's a guy. channel called News to Share. I forget his name, but he goes to a lot of the same events, and he's totally
Right.
like, I think he's listed as officially as an independent, in terms of political affiliation. He goes to almost every major event, and he just sets up a camera and films everything, and you can watch
Right.
it yourself. And that's his whole goal, is just to be like, here's what's really happening before it gets manipulated, right? And I've shared links from this guy, and I'm like, well, here's where Alex snipped the video, and here's what happened before and after. No, that guy's making it up. I'm like, the guy that showed the 30-minute video was making up, and the guy that
Right.
showed the 5-minute video is the real. Are you serious right now? Like, it would be that kind of stuff. Like, and I just don't know how we've gotten to a point where people are so polarized that they cannot think rationally and logically and take a step back and go, this doesn't feel right. Something about this feels off.
I mean, it just comes down to a lot of times it's just laziness. It's easier to take a small clip and pass around to everybody than it is to actually go back and looking at articles. God forbid you got to read something, I mean, or
Yeah.
watch a full 30-minute video instead of a 5-minute clip. I mean, that's a lot of the things that have even happened, and I'm not pro or anti-police, but it works both ways. You'll get a partial clip of the police beating somebody up, and then you get the other part of the clip, which is the full clip, and they were assaulted and they defend themselves. And that goes the other way also, where it's a pro-police one where they're being abused, but then you didn't see anything before that. So it just it goes both ways, man.
I I would love. I wish I knew the remedy to fix it. This almost feels like the real pandemic of our time. This desire to believe and comfortable information, whether it's fake or not. And one of the things, like, it's amazing, all the people who like to cite or deride the founding fathers who have never actually read the founding fathers. And one of their big things is, well, they all were almost all of them were scientists. They all were educated. They all were thinkers for that time period, and they all made it clear that the people they wanted a populace that was mentally aware and engaged in the
Right.
process. They wanted people who could read, who read the information, who followed the news, who wanted to be active in the system, not just in politics, but in the totality of the system. That's why everybody could attain any position as long as you were a citizen, whether it was dog catcher, school board, garbage man. Like,
Right.
you could do, but like, they wanted people who wanted to be a part of the system. And a big part of being a part of the system is to say, I don't want to take a side. I want I want the best person for the job to represent me. Or I want to get the best information that tells me the truth about these people or these things or these events, so I can make a good, well informed, well thought out decision, not rash, anger, reactionary. I'm upset in the moment.
Oh, I got frozen for a second there. Okay, we're back. It froze for probably about 10 seconds. What is going on with my connection?
Oh yeah, you just like
Or am I
you
back? Are you back?
froze. Yeah, I got you. You froze for like a minute.
Okay. Yeah, it was weird. That was weird. Maybe I got too much stuff running in my background. Yeah, I mean that kind of goes into like even politicians, with when you said representing us. It's even to find a good politician anymore that actually represents us. That's honest and not in the in the pocket of somebody or,
I,
or
I had a theory for years that I think the best thing we can do is eradicate parties. And I don't know. I don't know that you can. I don't know that there's any legal way to do that. But if we could make people so when they ran, they can't be. You don't have a party. You run as whatever your platform is and whatever
right.
policies you're going to try to pass. Not for your party, just because then people will have to go. Oh, I need to get this community behind me, so I need to find out what's actually happening in this community, and I need to represent this community. So
Right.
I need to have policies that are going to help my community, not I need to help my party. I need to get funding from my party. I need to get this job. So, I mean, George Santos, who, is at this point, obvious pathological liar, and he's pretty much admitted that his goal was to get this job so that he could have a lifetime pension and
Yeah.
benefits. He's all but admitted that. And it's like, so he lied in every way imaginable and told the most insane lies. And people voted this guy into office, and
Yeah.
it's and now he's got a lifetime. If he doesn't get removed, he's got a lifetime pension and health benefits. And he's already a grifter who's had all kinds of schemes and stole money from people. Now he doesn't have to even do that anymore. He's going to make however much
Quarter
money a
million
year.
dollars a year
Yeah,
or
yeah.
200 grand a year, whatever it is. Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely, and the fact that people are supporting him because they want to have power in Congress if they don't want to lose any seats, as opposed to like when you complain about the taxpayer, like when you try to pretend like you care about taxpayer money and you know the taxpayer money is going to go to this guy and you're keeping him in office because you want to make sure you have enough seats. I don't want to hear it. Like that's a lie.
Right.
You're just as much of a liar as he is when you say that. Like it's out of control. And again, like if there weren't these party things where parties are trying to have power and get things in a certain way, and it was more about people trying to actually represent the community, I think that's a fundamental way we can change things. I just don't know how we ever get there.
I don't even have an answer for that. I don't know either. We are in a sad time.
We are.
I mean, people are, angry, depressed. Um, just, I don't know. Everything's very negative.
Well, but I think the problem is, and it's again, the internet is as much of a gift as the internet should have been. It's been more of a curse. Like it's
Yeah.
the internet has the people behind these different websites and Twitter accounts and all these things where they're trying to get all these clicks and they're getting all these subscribers and stuff. Like they've realized that rage bait, clickbait, outrage bait, all these things that are designed to make you angry or um, or to see something that's just completely crazy, which is like reality TV, like all these different things, like they're all negative based and they all
Yeah.
bring a negative vibe. But they know that's what people like drama, people like that stuff, and that's what draws people in. And until humanity decides we don't actually want to participate in this anymore, it's just gonna keep getting worse.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, fear sells. I
Yeah,
mean, most YouTubes that I watch, whether it's about, you know, crypto or finances or um just what's going on around the world, every almost I'd say 80% of it is just negative fear porn to get you to keep listening because you want to see what's coming down the
yeah,
line,
yeah,
whether it's the markets or it's the economy or it's world war or whatever it is. Everything is just negative so you'll click.
yeah, yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, man. I mean, most of my YouTube subscriptions are music based or like comic book based. Like
Yeah.
I try to avoid that stuff. People are like, "Oh, you haven't seen this?" I'm like, "Nope, I haven't." Not until you people send it to me, or until I get on Facebook for like 30 seconds, or Reddit or something, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting off of here because here's all this." Now, again, like both of those things I talked about at the beginning. The first time I saw them, I'm like, "This is obviously fake. Like it's obviously fake," and yet here I am looking at like 3,000 comments of people angry about it, and it's like, wow.
and
Like
then when they're proven wrong, they're angry again that
angry.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't let them live in their delusion, so they're angry at you now. Like
Yeah.
it's blows my mind. This need for confirmation bias blows my mind, and it's destroying us as a society and as a people, and it's destroying the country ultimately.
Maybe the fix is getting rid of social media.
That is the fix, I think.
Yeah.
But
How do you? I don't think you
Too much
do.
money. It makes too much money.
And it'll go back to freedom. Well, if you don't like it, then get off it. I mean, that
Right.
might be the answer.
Yeah. But it doesn't fix. It doesn't make it any better for anybody else. The
Right.
reason the reason we've teetered so close to a second civil war at this point, um, at a time when people are making more money than ever, even though people are broke because of corporate greed and cost rises, but people are still making more money than ever, living at a higher level, higher standard than ever. Yet somehow where everybody's still so angry, it's directly because of social media and lies going back and forth
Yeah.
to raise the level of anger, and politicians saying things to raise the level of anger against the other side. And it's like, we're not on the other side. Like, we're all the same country. Like there is no other side. Like, that stop that.
Yeah.
We can have healthy disagreements and figure them out. Like adults. Like this whole, you're on the other team. Like, no, we're on the same team. We're all Americans. Like, let's have a damn conversation.
I mean, so then, I mean, is it easier just to have, I guess, one party, which is like the universal party, which, you
Well,
know,
that's what I'm saying. If there were no
yeah,
parties and there was no party politics where parties can choose
right.
the
You're
politician they
choosing
want.
you're choosing the candidate, not the left or the
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the parties play a role in the candidates you even get to pick from. They go, oh, I don't want that.
Right.
This guy hasn't kissed enough butt or paid enough dues inside the party, so he doesn't get the run until we feel like he's earned it. Even though people in his community might be like, this is the guy we want. So then they
Right.
give you another choice, and it's like, well, there's only these guys on the ticket. I can only even vote. Like, so people are like, oh, I get free choice in my vote, but you actually don't. So
Look at our
if we
last
got rid
couple
of parties,
elections. You don't. I mean,
no. But you don't even at the local level, which feeds up to each next level, which is why when we get to these levels, like, I don't want to vote for any of these people, but this one feels like the lesser evil. It goes all the way back to the very local, very bottom of the local level where they're determining, this guy for school board, I want him to wait another year, but we're going to push
yeah.
somebody else up first, and all these different things. Like, it's so, the party politics, the internal party politics, are just as divisive and corrupt and disgusting as the national level stuff
The national.
that people
Yeah.
argue about. Yeah,
I mean, even at the city, I mean, city level, it's
yeah,
all the same.
it's all the same. No matter how low you go, it's all the same. It's just somebody's like, I think we need to get rid of. There's a guy I talked to in the chat, and he was like, I think we need to get rid of federal offices and then only have like governors make decisions, and that's how you get. He's conservative. That's how you get rid of the
Yeah.
liberal stain or whatever, because there's more conservative governors. And I'm like, the same party politics system, the same corrupt system exists at every level. All you're doing is removing one layer of corruption, but it will be replaced at the local level. It's in some other way. Trust me.
Right.
Like, it's not, you're not actually getting, it's the same thing. The people that end up getting to vote for governor, becoming governor, getting a run for governor, that process is just as corrupt as the people who get to run for Congress, Senate, and the president. Like, it's not, you're not getting, you're not changing anything. Like, that's, and people were like actually applauding this guy as brilliant. I'm like, have you guys ever actually followed your local politics before you
Yeah.
make these ideas? You should actually go like watch city council operate and stuff, because it's the same process. It's the exact same process.
And the problem is a lot of these guys are at a certain level, and then instead of working to improve their community, they're currently working on what their next step is and what their next, if it's, a city councilman that is should be doing his job, but now he's just wants to become mayor, and
Yep.
mayor wants to become a governor, or
Governor,
it's just,
or
yeah.
or maybe city councilman wants to jump over and go for a governor, or get a judge's position, or um,
Yeah.
but there's the other thing is, some of these guys realize they're only going to go so high. So at the local level, what they do is they become kingmakers. They decide who gets to run. They decide,
Hmm.
internally. They, even if they don't have a position as head of the party, they tell the head of the party, this is who we're going to run. This guy's got union connections. We need to move him up. Blah 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 blah. Like, this is who's going to come here. When the president comes to visit our city, this is who gets to meet him and shake his hand, because then in the backroom meetings, this person's going to get the run for this position in 4 years or in 2 years
Right.
after, and it's like they're already making those. People don't realize, like, when somebody comes to visit your city, a high position, like a senator, especially a president, people determine who gets to ride in the limo, who gets the ride in the next car, who gets to meet the guy,
Yeah.
who gets to shake hands on stage versus backstage, then where you get the public passing of the torch, and all those things are very, very carefully crafted. It's all controlled, and you're not there's no way to change it unless you get rid of the party system.
Yeah. I agree. Hey, I gotta wrap it up. But no, it was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, we'll revisit it later. I'm sure there'll be some new clickbait outrage in a matter of a couple weeks.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for watching the Brilliant Heathanz podcast. Have a great night.